Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the show. As always, I'm back with your daily cryptocurrency news and comments. Today we'll be talking about Ripple and XRP, which make up most of the cryptocurrency and financial world. Everywhere you are watching this, everyone is having a great day or night. As we look more closely at a few things, I made a video not long ago about how close we are and how we are seeing these new global rails being put in place. I also talked about how XRP is the holy grail. To make this 20-minute video even longer, I'd like to go into a little more depth about this. A lot of the things I wanted to talk about are harder to go into more detail on. But many of you asked things like, if we're so close, why do you keep saying we have a year or two? And the main point I want to make is that when I say we are so close to this new financial system, I mean that things are beginning to fit together. Yeah, I think we are very close when we talk about XRP's price going up and setting a new all-time high. In fact, I just finished making a movie that talks about how we might see it in the next bull run, which is likely to happen in the next 12 to 24 months. It looks like we're getting close to that bull run right now. Things are falling into place around the world, which means they're using DLT and blockchain to keep the system's finances running smoothly. Other than that, I wanted to learn more about this because there is some really interesting information about what's going on with Ripple and XRP. Thank you. 20.22 for this. After the good news from the sexy case, banks are talking about possible Ripple deals. Please pay close attention to this movie. Afterward, I will talk more about what Ripple recently said and how XRP fits into this whole picture. Is one of your most recent posts that I replied to on LinkedIn about the ways of paying that you talked about with Ripple? I'm going to be honest right away. Tell me everything. This is about Zelio Ripple. I asked myself, how did these two meet? My son, who is 32 years old and knows more about all of this, put his hard-earned money into Ripple. And he doesn't like to leave quickly with his money. He actually wants to pay his parents the money he owes them by the share, which didn't impress me. That's a different story, but it does make you stand up and take attention. I don't know a lot about this, but I think they contacted us a while ago. At the time, though, they were in a court battle in the United States. Because you only get one chance to make a first impression, we told them to come back to us once that was taken care of. And if this court case doesn't go well for you, that's not a good sign. In the US court case, they won, which was good. Then they came up to us again, and we're going to take another look. While I don't claim to be an expert, we might try to market their goods. Again, be careful what you buy. We'll let our members know about this new technology that can make real-time payment exchanges. It looks like it has a lot of safety features. The meeting where I did that post was attended by a lot of people from the big banks who were very interested in it. It's there, but it will take some time to understand how it can be used to help our users. That's all there is to it. We've been waiting for this for a long time, and many of the big banks that are looking into Ripple also want to get into XRP. Bank of America told us this. It's likely that all banks are getting ready to use Ripple. Yes, but I think that many of the big ones, like Bank of America, are still waiting for the institutional sales of XRP to be over. Even if that doesn't happen, they can still use Ripple and buy XRP on the open market. We'll just have to see what happens with that. However, I think that banks are beginning to see Ripple more closely, and I'm sure they are all aware of this. The people from all the big banks got together and talked about it, just like he said. They are now looking into it. They're interested because, once again, real-time payments and a lot of new ways to make money are huge for banks. There are other places where we know the money is going and where major central banks are going with CBDCs. We know what they want. Did you know that CBDCs aren't just for banks? Some of the best ways to use CBDC are for crossword puzzle payments and payments between consumers and businesses. James Wallace talks about these uses in a 49-second video. This video clip was just posted by Ripple, but I'm going to play it quickly. Did you know that digital currencies from central banks aren't just for them? Commercial banks and other financial companies can also use the method to their advantage. Ripple did a poll around the world and found that 3/4 of finance leaders are very confident in CBDCs to meet their business goals. Based on our research, the most popular uses for CBDCs are making payments across borders and sending money from a consumer to a business. Get the 2023 New Value Study to learn more about how crypto is changing business. When we look more closely at CBDCs, we can see that they're not just for state banks. There's also the chance to change things like company fees and other similar things. What can central banks do with CBDCs still interest us? 100, and I think we should be. However, the fact that Ripple is working on privacy-preserving technologies for CBDCs is a big deal because it shows that the public and private sectors are working together. It's also interesting to see Ripple becoming more interested in and working on CBDCs. We also know from their CBDC PHY homes. XRP is being put at the center of all CBDCs, which means they want it to be the link between all of them. I've said this a million times. Does that sound like the way things will go? We have no idea, do we? CBDCs have only been around for a short time. We don't even know what CBDC will look like in a year, 2 years, or even 5 years. But I still want to make the point that when we really look at CBDCs, they're still making XRP the main focus. We know this because of their post on November 8 that decoded a CBDC report and shared important lessons from 12 countries that are already running CBDC pilot programs. Some of the most important news points can be seen here. So, we get important information from central banks about what we can learn from current CBDC research and use cases, what areas central banks should look into further, and how they can best interact with the current payments environment. These areas should be closely watched. We've already talked about a few of these from currency studies in this report. Several people played a big role in this, but Hedera and Algren were two of the most important. This study gives us a better look at how disruptive CBDCs could be and how they could speed things up around the world, not just for central banks but also for companies. For those who remember, Ripple's whole campaign this year and even going forward into 2022 was crypto means business. This means that crypto could speed up a lot of the slow, broken processes that are currently in place. We can see some of the most important parts of this, and we'd also check to see which players were already logged in. For example, XRP, you can see the logo for it, acts as a bridge currency between all of the CBDCs and the world's major currencies. We can also see some of the big projects that are already happening within Ripple, like the Republic of Poloro and the Monetary Authority of Butte. These are important ones to point out because they are, if we scroll down, we can see that Ripple is moving on to the next step. You know, move forward and use these answers. In this paper part, it's important to lay the groundwork for end users to accept it and build an ecosystem that will support innovation and services that add value.